Moonberry, Shooting Star, A True Love by Switched Up. Ever since Shooting Star had moved to Ponyville, he had felt quite lonely. Even he had many great friends there. But even to be an alicorn, he still felt not part of the society. He felt like he was an outsider. Even he had been lived in Ponyville for about a few years. Even he has been on a few dates before, but he never felt any connection with them. After one point he thought maybe that he should decide to move from Ponyville and perhaps travel around like he did before. Long time ago, before he even moved to Ponyville, he used to travel in Equestria and even to Saudi Arabia for years. Ever since an alicorn, he's immortal. He can travel anywhere he wants, and his magic is very powerful. Even now he gets some magical training from Twilight and even Luna. But for most part, Shooting Star wants to have something now, something special in his life. He wants to have his special song pony. But most of the mares he had dated, none of them didn't seem to be the right one for him. And just only a few days before he decided if he wanted to move from Ponyville or not, he was out for a walk around town, and he just passed by the market when he saw another mare standing there at her family berry stand with her along her brother Seaberry Turtle, her dad Grapevine Dream, and her brother-in-law Star Haze. Actually, they had their berry shop at the end of the outside part of the town, and her name was actually Moonberry. He thought that she was very beautiful, but still, he had never talked to her anything before. Even Moonberry could see that he was walking by, and every time she saw him, she felt like her heart was skipping a few beats. She tried to hide it quite well, even her family didn't notice it. But she wants to talk to him, but she is quite shy. Until one day. Moonberry is actually Rarity's best friend. But one day when she was with Rarity and Cutie Mark Crusaders nearby Evergreen Forest, suddenly they are surrounded by 20 timber wolves. At the same time, Shooting Star was walking nearby when he heard a scream for help. He immediately teleports to exactly where the scream came from, and he saw Rarity, Moonberry, and Cutie Mark Crusaders, and then he heard that Moonberry told the Cutie Mark Crusaders to stand behind her and Rarity for protection. He can hear that Apple Bloom saying that you don't have to tell us twice, and they did. The Timberwolf was about to attack, but then Shooting Star jumped in front of them and helped Moonberry and tried to protect the Cutie Mark Crusaders. But one of the Timberwolves about to almost hurt badly Moonberry, but she shielded Scootaloo from being attacked. But then Shooting Star jumped in front of everyone and took the powerful blast he took an impact from the Timberwolf and used a powerful magic blast and blow up one of the Timberwolves, and the others, scared, run away. and Shooting Star. He was looking at the others, and before he slowly fainted to the ground after he used so much magic. And before he could pass out, he can hear Moonberry telling the Kurama Crusader to find Sakura and bring her there as fast as he could. During the time when he was passed out, Moonberry tells Rarity to take the Kurama Crusaders home while she stays at Sakura's until he wakes up. They actually all of them manage to bring Shooting Star by using their magic to carry him all the way to Sakura's hut. And a few hours later, Shooting Star slowly woke up and saw Sakura and asked where he was. Then she explained that he was actually in her hut, and that Moonberry had taken her there with help of Rarity, and that then he saw that a mare was making medicine, and then he had been introduced between her and someone else. Sakura then suggested that it would be best if Moonberry allowed Shooting Star to stay at her place until his magic and his strength had been recovered. Moonberry agrees with that, and he could slowly walk by himself, even he has not fully recovered yet, but he could manage to stand up and walk slowly to Moonberry's home. In fact, he stayed there for 2 whole weeks. It took 2 weeks for Shooting Star to regain the energy that had and his magic. For most of the time when he was staying there, he actually has started falling in love with Moonberry. Moonberry's family has been very open and very friendly to him. Even that he was an alicorn, they didn't treat him any particular special because that he was a royal prince. He told them that he didn't want to be treated as special or like a royalty. He just wanted to be treated as a normal pony, even if he's an alicorn. And they accepted his request. And most of that, after those 2 weeks were over, Shooting Star had asked out Moonberry from their first date, and she said yes. And even they both really enjoyed their day together. Shooting Star actually took her to one of the restaurants that recently opened in Ponyville. And they both really had a very great time. At first, they were a little bit quiet between them, but he managed to break the silence by telling her a funny joke. And she laughed so much. Even after they left the restaurant, he actually asked Moonberry when they were outside her home if she wanted to be his girlfriend. She was not even prepared for that kind of question, but she didn't need any moment to think about an answer. She actually said yes, and she kissed him right there as a thanks for the date. And after she walked in, he felt so calm, but at the same time so happy that he could almost like explode. So he took off right in the air and just made some loops and flew all the way back home. Even the same night, both Moonberry and Shooting Star couldn't sleep. They actually had so much energy inside them they couldn't even sleep. Both of them were so happy to be with each other, but still they couldn't even stop thinking about each other. And their time together was so strong. And also, after a whole month and being together, he actually met her parents for a second time, Toffee Berry and her dad, and they both loved that even Moonberry's nieces liked him. Even then, he actually helped at this there berry stand a few times when either her brother or her father couldn't even be there. And she appreciated that he helped her so much over time. And their relationship only got stronger and stronger for each day that passed. But then, it happened after being together for about 6 months. They had a big fight. Moonberry wanted to put up the stand in a different location, but Shooting Star said that they should still have put it placed where they had always been. But since they had a less customer for the past few weeks, Moonberry wanted to place the stand over some little bit further up on the road, in hope to maybe get some more customers. But Shooting Star that even he did so, but they would not and guarantee that even that would work, because if they moved up a little bit long further up on the street, it would make that they could end up being less customer than they used to, perhaps maybe like 1 or 2 customer per day. And if they had less customer, they would probably end up their family business would probably bankrupt. But Moonberry didn't want to listen. She wanted to do it anyways. So Shooting Star told her, well, do it then if you want to do it. I don't want to be part of this then. So he left. And they didn't see each other for the next few weeks. But during that time, Shooting Star realized he was wrong. And actually, he could see that Moonberry had a lot more customers, but after time, it was almost like any customers at all. And Shooting Star didn't want to see her business to be fall apart, so he actually spread out the word in town about the berry stand was now at the new location, but the same prices as everywhere as it was before. And suddenly, all the customers returned, and the stand was now crowded, and with help from her brother and her father and her mother, and including Shooting Star, who came back, and they both apologized for what had been about this big fight. And soon afterwards, they were back together as a couple. Even so, Shooting Star was now feeling a bit guilt that he had this big fight with his true love. So he made up for her about taking her from picnic, and even just went a picnic and brought her some flowers, some chocolate, just to make up to her, and she appreciated that how much he actually cared for her. And after being together for 4 years, Shooting Star had actually went to a local store and jewelry store to buy a ring. He decided that he wanted to spend the rest of his life with Moonberry, so he actually bought a ring there and planning for a proposal to Moonberry at one of those picnics where they're going to have later on. And even so, he wanted to keep that as a secret. He told her brother and her parents about this, but they promised all to keep it a secret. And the day came when they went to the park for a picnic. After they had spent the picnic together during the day, he actually was now ready to propose to her. By the same time, very, very nervous and even scared that she would say no to his question. But now he was ready. Then he actually asked Moonberry the question. At first, she just looked at him and saw the ring. And she said yes immediately. And they actually just... She was so ecstatic. She was never believed, never thought that he was going to propose to her as so soon, after 4 years being together. They went back home, and she told them about the news to her family, but they then revealed that every one of those already know. But they just promised to keep it a secret. But Moonberry was not mad at him. She wasn't. In fact, during the time, she had actually asked Rarity to make the dresses for her and the suit for Shooting Star, and even to be her bridesmaid, which she accepted. Shooting Star had asked Spike to be his best man, and they had asked Sweetie Belle to be the ring bearer, which she was really want to be. And they had asked Twilight if she could contact Cadence if she could perform the ceremony, and which she gladly wanted to do. And a few weeks later, the wedding was in a great detail. It was a big wedding. The beautiful wedding, and even Moonberry was very much in the mood. She was very much happy for this big day. It was not like what she expected. But after the wedding, there was a huge party organized by Pinkie Pie and Discord. And after the big party, they actually went to Manhattan for their honeymoon for the next 2 weeks. And after being married for 3 years, Moonberry told Shooting Star that she was pregnant, and he fainted. But when he woke up, she told him that again, and that he was very much happy. And 9 months later, they had a son, which they named Mystic Star, who was born as an alicorn like his father. He actually later became Celestia's new student, and it seemed at some point there he actually fell in love with Cheesecake Pie, the daughter of Pinkie Pie and Sandwich. He actually even he wanted to be something else in his life, and he wanted to be a teacher like his old personal teacher, and he actually became a teacher in Canterlot. And he and Cheesecake Pie actually had triplets, sons, who all became an alicorn. 4 years after that Mystic Star was born, Moonberry had a daughter named Crystal River, who was an regular unicorn. She helped her aunt Fluttershy out as a vet, and also later on she fell in love with Strong Apple, the son of Applejack and Caramel. They all both really liked each other so well. And she really liked to be a farmer like her true love is. And later on, they actually fell in love more and got married and had 3 daughters. First, they had the 2 daughters who was unicorn, and later they had an earth pony daughter. And 3 years after Crystal River was born, Moonberry had twins, Pegasi, a son and a daughter. The son was named Solar Comet. When he was little, he wanted to be a wonderbolt like his aunt Rainbow Dash, And when he was a bit older, he actually got training from her and also met a fellow Wonderbolt, which he falls in love with her. And at some point there, they actually got married. And he actually later became a Wonderbolt, reserved as his mother or his idol, Rainbow Dash. He and his wife had 4 children, 2 sons and 2 daughters. All became alicorns. Their twin daughter was named Charm Lily, and she actually worked at the local greenhouse when she was little, but she actually loved to work with plants, with flowers. And when she was growing up, she actually started to work at this greenhouse more often. But when she was a little bit older, she actually fell in love with another co-worker, an earth pony. Then at some point there, they actually got married and had 5 kids together, 5 children, 3 daughters and 2 sons. The 2 daughters are earth pony, and 1 son is also earth pony. One daughter is a Pegasi, and 1 son is Pegasi as well. And just 4 years after the twins were born, Moonberry had another daughter named Scarlet Snow, who is an alicorn. When she was just as a filly, she became Luna's personal student. And she was very, very talented in magic and everything else. But after she was finished with her school studies and everything was when she was like 20, she actually moved to Crystal Empire, where she met her future husband, a jeweler. And at some point there, they started dating, and after about 4 years, they actually got married and had 5 children, 3 sons and 2 daughters. The 3 sons are actually unicorns, and the 2 daughters are alicorns. Shooting Star and Moonberry could never be more happier to be with each other. At the same time, it felt like a dream that came true when they found each other, and also to have so many children, and especially to have so many grandchildren, made them even more prouder and even happier. And that's how Moonberry and Shooting Star found a true love and got a big family. The end.